Well, driving to the office, and I think I'm going to need to find a better phone mount situation. So this thing's going to fall pretty much every hard stop I take. Alright, well, welcome to the third week of June. It's currently Tuesday in sunny and muggy Minnesota. And this week, we're going to be talking about how to identify and find your ideal customer in your local market with market research. Now, this is a topic that I have spent a lot of time appreciating and learning, and I'd say that the last year. I remember taking my marketing research classes and not really paying a whole lot of attention to the marketing research component because I don't know, not to say I thought it was overrated, but I don't know, it seemed a little bit overrated. There's a lot of better methods out there now. And for having run forestry agency for about 2 years now and getting a lot more hands-on experience working with local businesses and seeing the real world impact of proper market research, I am definitely an advocate for it now, and I'd like to propose a couple ways to go about that this week. Now, why is market research important? Well, if I go into a crowded room and I just start shouting blindly for anybody to pay attention, and this is a crowd of 100, 200 people, right? I'm a nobody. No one's going to listen to me. No one's going to pay attention to me because I'm not looking for anyone specific. Now, if I walk into that same crowded room and I know there are 3 people in this room named John and I want to talk to those 3 people, well, if I go in that room and I start yelling John, well, I'm going to get John's attention because John's hearing his name. I'm calling him and identifying him personally. And even though he doesn't know what I want or why I'm trying to find him, he's going to react because I'm calling him by his name. Market research allows us to know and find our Johns in the room. And when you're a business that offers a specific service or a specific product, you have to know who your Johns are, because those Johns are the people that are worth advertising to. Those are the people that are worth selling to, because they're the ones that need what you have. So market research is critical, because without it, you're going to be shouting in a room, wasting all kinds of effort, getting red in the face, because you have no idea who you're talking to. So we're going to talk about that this week. Stay tuned. Joe's just getting back, or he got back last night from a hunting trip. Excited to ask him about that today, see how that went. I think he went out to, it was either South or North Dakota, I can't remember. Went out there with some uncles and my other brothers, my dad, do some prairie dog hunting. Yeah, mic'd up. He's all mic'd up. He's live. Clink. Rocking some coffee.
Just a little bit.
Alright, let's talk about ideal customer profiles and why they're important. Now, when you don't have a specific customer profile and you don't know exactly who you're targeting, you're really speaking to everybody. And when you're speaking to everybody, you're speaking to nobody. Going back to my example this morning on the drive into work, that same thing applies when you are targeting and calling out your target audience across your social media, on your website, wherever you are interacting with and talking to people. You need to be as specific as possible. So if you're a plumber and you only work with upper middle class people in, let's say, Wayzata, Minnesota.
It's Wayzata.
Say that. Tell them that you are looking specifically for those people to work with, because then when you're that specific, you're going to get their attention. So specificity matters.
Intentionality matters, and be as personalized as possible, because when you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. So that's my quick tip for you. Catch you tomorrow.
Okay, let's talk about how to define your ideal customer profile. Now, you might have already done this before, and if you haven't done it in a while, it might be good to do a refresher. And if you don't know what I'm talking about at all, then this will be great. Pay attention. So an ideal customer profile, or an ICP, is the type of person that your business targets and works with best. So typically an ICP profile has roughly about 8 points. There are more if you want to get more specific, but just to keep a high level, we'll keep it to these 8 for now. So first of all, if you want to build out a profile, you need to list out the industry niche, the company size, the geography, so where they're located, the pain points that they struggle with, who makes the decisions, budget, buying triggers, and values. As a quick example to kind of help drive this home, I've filled out our own ICP for 4th Street Agency. So in this case, we work best with home service businesses with 5 to 15 plus employees that are based in Minnesota that struggle with these 5 pain points. So they have no internal skill, they have limited internal direction, outdated assets, bad experience with past vendors, and limited time. On top of that, the people that we work with for the decision-making process are going to be founders and CEOs, or internal marketing managers that have been assigned responsibility for these directives. Ideally, our client has a budget of at least $2,500 up to $20,000. That's kind of our sweet spot for project work. Number 7, for buying triggers, typically they have some sort of internal roadmap or a plan that they've put into place internally that they're trying to execute on, so they know that they need someone like us. Or it's a shotgun decision, and this CEO or founder woke up one day and said, okay, we need a website, someone go find somebody. So those are typically the 2 main triggers that prompt someone to go and look for a service like ours. And number 8, the values that they're looking for in a provider like us. They're looking for someone that is transparent. They're looking for someone that is fast, results-driven, collaborative, and has a partner mindset. So by outlining all this, we now have a very clear idea of who we're reaching out to. And this is, like my previous example said, this is our John. These are the people that we're trying to reach in the crowd, because we know that if we can find the people that fit this bill, we can produce good results for them very consistently day in, day out. And those are the people that we're targeting. So go through this exercise for yourself, define it very clearly so that you'll know who you're targeting. That's what I got for you. All right, back to work.
Okay, great. So let's talk about some practical tips on how to take things to the next level after you've identified your ICP, or say you're starting to figure out who your ICP is, but you're unsure of like how to actually get there. So let's talk about some practical steps. So first of all, I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make when trying to figure this out is they start too narrow too soon. There's common advice out in the market right now that you should pick a niche and stick to the niche. And while that's true, I think that most people who are taking that advice are doing that too soon before they know where to even start. I think the best way to explain this is it's like going to a lake that you've never, and this is for my Minnesota people, if you're going to a lake that you've never fished before and you're trying to find the perfect spot to fish, if you pick a random spot and drop your line, very low odds that you've picked the right spot and you're going to actually get some good catches. What you would do instead, if you really wanted to canvas the lake, is you would go and bring out a net and drag it and kind of like start to narrow down the areas, right? And then once you know generally that maybe say the north side of the lake is the best, then you could start getting a little more specific, right? So when thinking about your ideal customer profile and who you want to serve, I'd say honestly start pretty broad first. In that, like, this is assuming that you're completely fresh, right? Like, this is your first year or 2 in business, and you have no prior experience knowing who you serve best. Work with anybody and everybody until you can kind of narrow down and identify your favorite people to work with. And then from there, you have the information that you need to actually build out an ideal customer profile. Now, most of the businesses that we work with, they've already been around for 5 to 10 years, so they already have a pretty good idea of who they like to work with and who the best customers are. So for them, it's really just a matter of reflecting on who have we worked with that we produce the best results for, that we get the best reviews from, that are very quick to like pay, have like good the expectations are aligned. So assuming that that's you, take some time, dig through your CRM, reflect on the projects that you've done or the jobs that you've completed, the services that you've offered in the last couple years, and really start to identify what are the attributes of the people that we work best with. And talk to them, honestly talk to them. Hop on the phone. I'm assuming you have hopefully a good relationship with at least a few of them. Hop on the phone with them, talk to them. If you want to send out or talk to more, send out a survey. Just ask them simple questions like, why did they choose you? Were they totally happy with the experience afterward? If they evaluated between you and someone else, why did they choose you? What things stood out to them about your service? Really take the time to be intentional and collect that data, and then use that data to inform and educate your internal team about your ICP. And going back to our exercise yesterday, fill out those extra points, do your own research on other points that you should fill out, but create a very detailed document that outlines exactly who you're targeting. The goal here being that once you have an understanding of who these people are, then you can target them better, right? So you don't want to waste your time because everyone knows if you've been in business for a while, there's always those customers that are super cheap, super hard to work with, take forever to pay or get back to you. And honestly, they're just not worth the time. So focus on the 20% of your customer base that are the best to work with, the people that make you want to come to work every single day, and make sure that you go out and find those other people. But before you can find more of those people, you got to know who they are. So that's the point of this exercise. So take that, put it to practice, and I can guarantee you'll see much better results just from making that simple shift. So that's it. That's been this week talking about ideal customer profiles. Honestly, appreciate the time you've taken. If you want more details, I'm working on the blog post for this right now, so you can go and dig into that in a little more detail as well if you're looking for some more meat, if you will. But yeah, happy Thursday.